Ladies and gentlemen, railbirds of all ages from around the world, welcome to the 2024 Derby City Classic. Got round one pocket action here. Salim versus Tim de Ruyter. This is the lag here. My name is Somerfield Habener, here with Railbirds TV. Big shout out to Bad Boys for all their support of this stream here in this event, making it all possible. That is Jean Racken there. He's got the break. And yeah, these both two very strong players. This should be a really good match. Can't say either one especially known for their one pocket abilities, but strong players. Jean's definitely turned some heads at Derby City the last couple years, placed high up in the ranks. Tim de Ruyter, phenomenal player. One pocket is going to be race to 3, alternate break. You got to make 8 balls in your pocket, one of those 2 pockets next to where he's racking right now, before your opponent makes 8 balls in their pocket. Each foul will cost you a ball, and 3 foul rule is in effect. Notice a lot of attention to the rack here. Rack's a really big part of the break. Break is a really big part of one pocket. So definitely making sure that rack is straight as possible, especially that head ball as tight as possible. I'm excited to be here. This is my favorite tournament in the world, Derby City Classic, largest one-pocket tournament in the world, largest bank pool tournament in the world. Great 9-ball event, Bigfoot Challenge. End of January out in southern Indiana. If you haven't made it, it's one to make for sure. Typically, players going to try and clip that head ball, make more contact with the second ball. It was pretty solid second ball contact, and you see that 3-ball leak out there, and that's going to cost him. Yeah, pretty hard to get safe when you leak a ball right in front of somebody's pocket. So just caught that second ball a little full. Tim may very well not take this 3-ball, as obvious it is. I don't think he's going to be able to get under the 9. I think he has to make contact with the 9. So trying to figure out how to get more than 1 out of this rack, obviously. Might be able to back. Yep, looks like he's going to go into the 3 and just try and push through underneath these balls. And that's why I think a lot of players wouldn't take that first shot, as easy to get stuck under those balls. He does still have a bank on the 10 here. Really got to commit to make this bank. Probably try to get between the 9-13. Hits it beautifully. Makes contact with the 13, so moving a ball out of makeable zone. Gets on the rail, which is going to make this 9 a little tougher also. Boy, that 11's tight too, so he's got a small pocket here. Doesn't want to leak too far forward. Yeah, and he was fine just leaving himself the bank. So good shot, pretty free bank here on the 11. It's going to be a little tough to get high enough up to shoot the 7 next if it passes the 15. Boy, Tim off to the races here. Looks like just going to stiff this and probably play the 7 next while coming all the way around for the 6-ball. It's a tricky little shot. You see the offensive threat of this guy. Looks like he can come into the stack, but unfortunately he's coming the wrong way into the stack. Ideally, he's probably going to clip that 2-ball after making the 6. Pretty hard to imagine that stack opening up, though. Tim taking a good long look at it. So caught a little too much of the face of that ball, gets stuck under the pack. Yeah, not much you can do from here. I think probably glance off the 4 here and get backside of the 14. Might even hit with this with a little pace to try and move the 14 to his side. At this point, you're up 5-0. You really don't want to sell this advantage, so yeah, he's just going to lock him down on the backside of the 2. Just get him down to the foot. So that gives him a little more room to work. And I mean, John's going to come to the table, has a good look at the 2, and he can play it pretty safe. He's probably going to bank this 2 a little wide to try and go around the 5. Looks like he's just going to go up table with it. I think I like using the pack there because you just do a little more to protect your advantage here with the balls on your side. I think he's got a good look at the 14 ball. He's going to go under to the 15. Yeah, he's already got quite a bit of traffic on that side, so Tim glad to contribute to the trouble. If he's going up table, I'd consider using the 12 and opening those balls up a little bit. He likes just thinning the 2, working things off Tim's side. Yeah. Getting the 14 out of there is a great plan. That was his really big offensive threat with that cluster there. The 8-7 looks pretty close to wired up to his pocket, so that's another thing to be cautious of. Yeah, boy, he is clustered down there. It's funny because you still want to defend those balls. You don't want him to be able to move them all out of there, but you also, Tim's got a little more room to work because nothing really goes directly. Ken kind of contributing to his own troubles here. I think he can probably bank the 14 and just leave him doubled up, although that 1 might pass the 15. Looks like playing off the high side of the 4. Ideally, you're going to push that over to your side. Just kiss off the 12. Wow, touchy little shot there. I got pretty fortunate with the 12 ball blocking the 11. Blocking the 15 there. He's got to look at this 4 ball. Definitely jacked up though. Might be playing this off the 7-8 here. That's a good look. He had a great line there. Catches the 4, catches the 7. It's a nice little shot. At this point, those open up, and Tim's got to be a lot more cautious of a return bank here. Like playing off the bottom side of that 7 and under the 2. Doesn't quite catch it right. Doesn't sell a cut, but yeah, I don't think he can really afford to cut that ball. He's been liking the up table game, thinning off the 8, going up table. Might be looking at the Z bank here. That's really aggressive though. Good speed. Put the 8 in a great spot. He can still see straight through to that 2 ball. I think that's your easiest lane to kind of get inside those threatening balls. Move something out of the way. Very effective shot. Uses the 2, gets the 8 out of there. Sells nothing. We're going to start to see an up-table game here. So knows that 7's in a pretty precarious spot. Leaves him enough of an angle. I don't think he can shoot that 7. Doesn't really get you much, even if you shoot it. Looks like he's kicking. Just moving the 2 to his side. All right. Yeah, with the 2 there, it makes it a lot harder for him to try anything too offensive. Can it shoot in the 2? I think he'll try to make this ball. That's a big corner pocket right there. Takes a look at it, overhits it. Well, and that's definitely going to leave a shot here for Tim. Tim's got to be careful with that cue ball. Yeah, it doesn't even take it. Would have been hard to generate enough force with that 2 without selling out something on the 15-12. Yeah, I like using the 4 ball here to shake up those balls. You got to open those balls up to have any kind of offensive opportunity. Takes it, unfortunately clips the 14. Yeah, just overcut that bank. At this point, you can just roll that 4 ball forward. You only need 3. So he's trying to really push something out. Moves the 15. Fortunately, that could have been a lot easier return bank. Looks like he can shoot it pretty cheap, but yeah, you really got to make sure you leave it low. Otherwise, it's easy to sell that bank back. Putting it on his side, kind of taking some balls out of play there. So he is looking at the 3-railer. It's a cue ball in a great spot. Not a bad line on it. Yeah, it's a good shot. Does the 13 cut for him, though? I mean, it looks like you can cut this 13 and slip down. You make this ball, all of a sudden you're probably going to be looking good on the 14. He only needs 2. So doesn't pocket it, hangs it up. Boy, this is one where I think he's got enough of the ball to make it and follow it in. You really don't mind losing a ball here. So just making it and going up table. Oh, he scratched a different way. That's a far more complicated way to get to the same result. So Tim not going to get credit for that ball, but Sean's going to drop one. He owes one. Looks like he wants to spin over for the for the 13. I really like just rolling this down and taking the bank on the 14, but if you don't mind punching this shot, Tim a lot more solid shot maker than I am, so makes sense. Still leaving the bank, just trying to give himself a little room off the rail. This is for the game.
Mickey Krause, table 39, Mickey Krause, table 39, you're on the clock.
Doesn't even shoot for it. Right, so conservative there. Derby City, you see a lot of these players pretty banking very strong. They're just getting done with the bank pool event, so a lot of those banks start to look like hangers, but just not willing to take the risk on a maybe not super high percentage bank for him. Again, that's kind of a bank pool player or one pocket player's dream there. That's real standard back bank, but he didn't like it, and that's probably smart. You got to know what you're comfortable with. Trying to force something to happen there. I think he got a little cute. Maybe he's trying to tempt him into shooting that back cut on the 14. It'd be interesting to see him shoot this back cut and resist that last bank. Kind of makes me think you won't. He'd be going right into that 112. Yep, just moving the 12 out of there. Moving both those balls. This is, again, pretty cheap bank here on the 1. Doesn't like it. Yep, not willing to give anything up here. Most people, when thinking about one pocket, really believe that when you're behind is when you got to be aggressive. When you're in the lead is when you got to be a little more conservative. Looks like he's going to try and do something with the 12 ball here. Yeah, the 14 had a path, but boy, that's dangerous. Pretty easy to sell a shot there. At some point, he's going to be tempted to shoot. Or I think that's what Jean's relying on. Pretty free bank here on the 13 ball. It's getting him right into that position that he's liked so much. Plays it very aggressive. Yeah, overbanks it. Gets away with it, though. Nothing leaked out too far. This is a great chance to bank that 13 ball back at your hole and get under that 15-2-8. Looks like he's got the room to do it. Avoids a double kiss. It's a great bank. That's going to slip in. Nice shot there. And for the first time, we kind of get to see the offensive threat of Jean Salim. Looks like you can maybe starting with the 14 here. Got a good, safe way to shoot that ball. All right, well, he's got at least 4 sitting there. He's still owed 1, so 1's going to spot after his turn. Pretty tough to imagine. Got pretty straight on this one, too. Not sure if he'll try and run around 3 rails or power draw it. At some point here, you kind of realize you're probably not going to pluck 8 out of this one. Yeah, what comes next after this? Takes a big stroke to come around 3 rails or to draw into that. So looking like he's wanting to pocket the 15, just hang him on the 2. Even better, 3 rail the 15 out there. Gets it on his side. Spot that ball up. This player's not using the coins to mark that owed ball, and easy to forget when you owe that. Then off the 2. Not quite getting there. Be surprised to see him shoot this. I don't think he has a lane for the 12 to go. So playing the 3 railer with the kiss. Just got to move the 12 here. I like just kicking under the 12 ball. It's a good. If the 5 falls there, that can get a little more dangerous for you. And John kind of knows what Tim's not going to shoot at this point, and it gives him a little more freedom to explore different shots. He hasn't been really aggressive, but I mean, you kind of know he's not going to take any chances right now. You can think about 2 railing this 15 ball, but I think he's probably just going to thin off one of these balls and go up to the upper left-hand part of your screen. Just straight kicking. It's a confident shooter right there. A lot of players would never risk taking a foul in that situation, but yeah, when you kick with that kind of confidence, the world opens up for you. Goes for it. Catching the point can get really costly there if it forces you back to the bottom of the screen. But first real swing we've seen at Tim take it as out ball. Just keeping those balls clustered. Wow. Yeah, making that ball's kind of an unfortunate roll, but also a little careless for Tim. Very makeable bank here. See that cue ball, object ball lined up pretty close to the high side of that upper right-hand corner pocket. So the kiss is in play. He's going to have to figure out how to beat the kiss here. Does so with ease. Drills that bank. Yeah, boy, costly mistake there for Tim. Might try to play off this 5 and draw into this 2-8. See if you can shake things up.
Will Smith, table 29. Will Smith, you're on 29. You're on spot.
At least get the 5 to spot. Gets there. Oh, buys himself a 2-railer. Can 2-rail either one of these balls. I think the 8's a little more natural. Overhits it. Oh, man, and didn't force that cue ball forward. I mean, he leaves him pretty simple back cut here. It's just about spot to spot. Little back cut for him. Tim should handle this with ease, though. That'll be the end of game number 1. Tim to Ruyter taking that one down. And this will be Tim's break also. Stream sponsors for this event: Hustling Clothing USA, JB Custom Cue Cases, Jerry Olivier Custom Cues, Lippman Lights out of Portland, Oregon, and Locked and Loaded Custom Billiard Apparel. Thanks for tuning in here with the Derby City Classic, Railbirds TV. So yeah, boy, that leaked ball by John just kind of put him on his heels the entire time in game number 1. That's a big one. Selling on the break. Tim really is showing what a solid shot maker he is, and a little bit just in how different the game is played from people who are, straight shooters, 9-ball players, rotation players, aggressive shot makers versus people well-versed in one pocket. Catches that second ball really full, gets away with it. So yeah, kind of trying to do the favor back. They're kind of joking about the same thing. Sean probably going to try to, I would imagine, trying to bank the 14 into the 2-9. Might be a little more cautious just to not sell anything. May play the 14 into the 13. Right, he likes the 13 into the stack. We want to make sure you keep this cue ball low. Try and use the 2-9 to not sell anything out. Yeah, leaving that one bank shot can really change things for you. Look at that, gets all the way under the 2. Not a great result with the stack, but starting to turn the break around a little bit. I really like banking the 5 here with some inside and coming up table. Might be looking at the 3-railer also. Playing the 3-railer. Catching that 12 is a little unfortunate. Yeah, nothing really lined up at his pocket unless he's looking at that 4 ball off the 8. Just looking like moving these balls out of there. moving those balls out of there, putting them on his side, getting behind the stack. That's a touchy shot right there and well executed. Yeah, playing Tim's got to do something here. Takes a lot of the kick lanes away. Oh, if he's got a path through there, that's pretty fortunate for him. Looks like he can see straight through to the 11. It's hard to not look at the 5 ball, but doesn't look like it's really worth it. May try to play the 5 and just come right between those two, the 10 and 11. How'd he hit it? Oh, I thought it was in. Still hanging that ball in the pocket. Great result. Tim taking a look at the bank. I think you just got to play off the 9 here and under the 5. Looks like he's got a good line to do it. Can try and use the 9 to get the 8 out of there also, but it's easy to stick the 9 down there. Very aggressive, trying to come around 3 rails and get all the way under those balls. Almost got away with it, but not only is there a cut on the 5, but it's a perfect little angle. All right, let's see what Sean can do.
Roger Mealing, to table 38. Roger Mealing, table 38. You're on the clock.
Oh, really unfortunate to clip that 8 ball. That's going to limit his run. If the 9 ball still passes the 8, then he's fine. But yeah, if he's got to go 8 next, that's not good. Looks like he's got the 9. Opens those balls up. Yeah, that's big. Not sure if he'll try to rub the 14 here, just come around for the 6. Tried to rub the 14, didn't get it, but opens it up very well. He needs 5. Good chance to get Aiden out here. Stroking the ball really confidently. One to the 6 here, but doesn't really get you there. All right, so he's just going to try and draw off the 6, move that 4 ball. It's actually perfect placement. Use the 14 a little tough, but only 2 to go. It's a big stretch over that table to shoot the 14. That's only thing he really needs to consider aside from that 4 ball that just hung in Tim's pocket. Grabbing the crutch. Looks like he might have been trying to come up for the 3 there. Leaves himself steep on the 13, and he knows Tim can pluck these balls out of here. He's got to be really careful with this cut. Might try to move the 4 ball at the same time just to be safe. Little backup plan. So makes the 4, taking that offensive run threat away from Tim. Barely dogging that. 7-1. Nice little run for John. Yeah, bank's available, but it's too risky at this point. I kind of like playing the 2 railer on the 3 here if you can get to it. 13 might be blocking it. Tim looks like he's shooting. Does have the room to slip over. Barely bobbles the ball. Almost protects it with the 2. He's just going to have to give him this one also. Might consider banking the 13. Boy, again, big shot here. Oh, wow, I thought it was going to hold up. All right. Giving him that ball, but moving the 13 also. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to like here. I kind of like tying up his 13-3, just tapping into the 13, moving it on top of the 3 ball here. He might try to move both these balls, but like the harder you hit that ball, the more it can go wrong. Moves the 13, gets him down to the rail. Nice shot. Opens up a couple banks here. Is he really going to try to twist this in? Well, this will be one for the highlight reel if he does. This is a makeable bank here. All right, just kicking it out. Saw a beautiful kick and stick execution there. Moving the 2, rolling under the 3. Leaked out just a little. Don't believe you can see that 2 ball though. Most people are going to play off the 12 here. I like playing off the 3 ball because I don't really like where my 3 is at right now. Yeah, I think it's smart to move that ball. Use a bunch of distance there. Probably going to thin off that. I believe it's the 15 up by the 2. No? Just looking at banking the 11. Boy. He just says, I'm either getting back in this game or ending it. Out ball here for Jean Salim. All right, 1-1 ball game. So both players breaking one another's serve, and that's a big break for Jean getting back in this. Tournament sponsors here at the Derby City Classic, Diamond Billiards products, all these beautiful diamond tables, all the lights out there. My favorite table surface to play on, Simonis cloth, Aramith billiard balls, Outsville AccuRack, the makers of the template rack here at Derby City Classic, AccuSets Video Productions, and Master Billiard Chalk. Thanks for tuning into Railbirds TV. If you guys like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's going to let you know every time we go live here at the Derby City Classic. So that break hugely costly the first time for him. See what he can do with this one. Again, catches that wing ball. This time cost him on a foul. The spread worked out pretty well, though. Fortunately, when you catch that ball, you can kind of force. Yeah, you might scratch, but you're probably going to move that ball that you leaked out away from the pocket. So works out well there. Places a coin on Tim's pocket for some reason. I'm sure he'll remember that, but typically you want to put it in front of your own hole. Not sure what he's lining up to do here. I think I'd probably want to try to 3-rail this 2-ball and get under the 8 if it's there. Might be just looking at the 9. It's a pretty phenomenal shot right there. Look at that. Wow. Big 3-railer opening shot. That's highlight reel. Either got to take your medicine and shoot this combo next or leave yourself a back cut on the 3. I kind of like shooting the combo if you can get to the right spot and you're feeling good about it. Get this 3-railer. I mean, not a lot of room to slip under that 12. Catches the 8 perfect. Great speed. Center of the pocket, man, oh man. Yeah, you really got to figure out a way to shake the stack with one of these next 3 shots. Ritzel coming forward to take the 15 ball next. That's creative. I like that. I don't think he's going to fire this. I think he's going to use the 3 ball to try and break some balls loose. So just making sure he leaves himself a good angle. Did he hit it long? Yeah, hangs it up. That's unfortunate because this is a very makeable bank for Jean too. And he's, yeah, at this point you got to shoot. Still have a chance of getting back that advantage with your break. Balls aren't laying great for him right now, but in fact, what goes there? Maybe the 13 off the 1. 5-10 is ugly. 11-4 doesn't look like it goes. Maybe it's not worth the risk. Pretty tough to resist, though. I mean, you're still going to have to use the 3 to make the 15. I think you'll shoot. Nope, just moving the 3 over, knocking the 15. Good conservative play. How's that 13-1 looking at Tim's hole? Looks like probably lined up a little bit low. Yeah, he's just such an offensive-minded shooter. I mean, if there's a ball to shoot at, he's shooting. Might just be thinning off this also. Yeah. Taking a look at that 7-13-6, I believe. Everything laying kind of funky for that unless you want to kick into it. I do not see him doing that. Yeah, pretty easy to knock the 9 or the 1 onto your side, freeze on the back of a ball. Gets it over there, but kind of ties him up, creating a potentially freer shot on the 3 ball if he likes it. The 5-10, still not great. 14-4 and the 7-13-6 are both dangerous. Play off the 6 here and jostle those balls. That's smart. Yeah, using that ball. I think he's going to play off the 7 here. Is he going to get there? Tim's going to sell one back. Oh. Sir. Not fun ones to give up. One of your hard-earned balls. Tim's going to drop back down to 2. And again, we kind of saw the same thing with Jean. He has this, crowd in front of his pocket. He's got balls on his side, but nothing to really work with. Trying to open it up, overhits it, gets all the way through there. It's a mistake to a mistake right there. Taking a look at the 4 ball, I believe. It looks tight. I don't know. I think he's got to start with the 15 here. Would love to get this 4 and start plucking out these lower balls, though. Even if the 4 doesn't have a cut, it might be worth shooting that just to hang in front of your hole, just like that. Did he overhit it, though? Nope. Got away with it? Yeah. Hanging that ball can be pretty devastating. It's definitely better in this situation than making the ball. Is he just shooting the bank? Wow. Kind of surprised at that shot. At this point, you can do a lot off the 7 here to get on the side of the ball. He may just play the 4 first, but I like using the 7 ball. Obviously a way more competent offensive player than I am. It'll be interesting to see how he likes to run these balls. Getting the double kiss on the 7, keeping it there. Unfortunately, it's doubled up on the 15-7. Brutal. It's a rough roll. And I guess that's why I think a lot of people would bypass using the 7, is they feel it's easier to get shape on another ball and then another ball than you're kind of rolling the dice with that combo. Six doesn't pass the 13, I don't believe. I kind of like just cutting the 9, getting it over on my side, getting back up by that 12 ball. Really, really wants to shoot. I don't see much future in that 10-6. It's got good natural cue ball position, but that's about it. Yeah, gets it over there. Protects the 7 ball. So, wow, he's either kicking or banking the 7 ball. Wow. He was looking at the kick and stick, it looked like, but boy, big swing there for Ken Salim. Maybe a little frustration here. But again, the offensive threat is tough here. What do you do off this 6? I like kind of trying to cinch the angle and come back under the 15 or into the 15. Leave myself the 13. 7 ball does look like it has a pocket now. So if you can get from the 13 to the 7, it gets a lot easier to open those balls up. So it doesn't want to give up his advantage. Protects the 6. Might also just be sensing that little bit of frustration and just kind of feeding into it. Yeah, it's looking like he's going to have to use a ball. Pretty tough to get under or behind that 6 ball. So trying to hang on the 11 here. Trying to catch that 9 ball. Doesn't quite get there. But that's a good shot. That worked out well. Tim can kind of do a similar thing here and use the 11 and knock the 14 and cinch between the 5, 11 if you'd like to. He's looking at kicking under the 15. If you hit this good at your hole, as long as you watch the scratch line, you can get lucky and get under that 9 ball. I don't think he's going to like that. He's a straight bank at that 9 ball. Trying to drop behind that 15. Hope he cares more about that than he does making the bank, but hits it perfectly. Nice line for the combo here. He also has most of a pocket there, so he might just play the 15 first. If he's got a pocket, he definitely will. Getting right around that 6 ball. Boy, he's looking good to get out of this, too. He needs 7. All the way over. Got kind of on the wrong side of that 14 ball. If the 11 sneaks through there, he's in really good shape, though. Looks like it does. Nope. Well, that changes things. Taking a little count. I think you kind of got to try and get on the 12 here. I mean, really got to stroke this ball to make contact with those and open them up. A little easier to get over under the 12. Undercuts it. Hangs it in the hole, though. Almost leaves him doubled up. I think Tim can see it. Except he's going to spot a ball. That's going to come into play. Well, that was good strategic miss there by Salim. Good control there. Pocketing that ball. Might have been trying to get it out of there, but worst thing that can happen is that thing hangs up for you, so he'll take his ball. Got a funky 2-railer on the 14. Looks like he's just going to knock it onto the other side of the table. No, he played it. How'd he hit it? Plays it soft enough also. Yep, to not sell a bank. He was probably trying to play pocket speed there, but boy, that's risky where you're putting the cue ball. Like he's gonna knock this 14 out of there. Kind of on the 2-railer line, but he didn't have room around that ball. Two-railer again on the 12. Really can just roll this ball down table too. Catches that one a little wide. Does he? That's in the hole. Wow. Wow. Beautiful shot. Yeah, that's a little lane for that 2-railer, and from a pretty wide angle. Those get harder and harder the closer you get to hit to that corner pocket. Just taking his ball and ducking. Felt a little careless there. Right, so a 5-3 lead there for Jean. Looks like he might have room to twist that 7. No, he's going to be on top of the 5. Well, that was wild. If he was playing that combo bank carom, that was a pretty shot. It didn't work out great for him because he does sell a return bank. And, I mean, Jean definitely with the advantage here right now. Is he even going to think about the 5 or just shoot? So hangs it close enough to his hole. Gets really fortunate with the 1 ball there blocking him. That's going to force Tim to shoot. All right, so we're going to shoot the 10 ball, double him up on his own ball. Definitely have the chance to get a lot more. He might have left the 1. Yeah, that's pretty free from here too, even if he's got to swerve it a little bit. And I think he's just got a straight line. Not with the way he's looking at it. He needs 3. Rail first, nudges the 7 out. Ooh, tricky line to get behind that 5 if that's what you're going to try to do. Yeah, that line just going right at the side pocket off the right foot rail. Be interesting to see what he decides here. Looking at the bank on the 11, I can't imagine leaving that 7 sitting there. Got to feel pretty confident shooting that bank, and that was very, very nice shot. Excellent play there. This is his out ball. Unless I got something wrong with the score. Really don't think I did, though. It was 5 up, 10 counted. Maybe it's just a little thinner than he wants it to be. Well, color me confused. I am not sure why I wouldn't shoot that 7. Well, let's see what he had in mind. Yep, just going to remove this ball. Oh, he was trying to bank it. Wow. Catches the double kiss. Just shooting under the 7 there. Shot the last one. He's shooting this one. Nope, just making... Oh, trying to make the 10 to use it to protect the 7 and just missing the ball. He's really trying to look too much at that line. And a makeable bank here for Jean. The kiss is there. You got to be careful. Not able to avoid the kiss. Interesting part of the match here. Both players maybe showing a little distraction or frustration. Missing that 10 ball is... Just weird stuff happens when you get in one pocket mindset. You're an offensive player. You're not used to doing this much thinking about all the shots. Wow, drags that 5 beautifully. Almost doubles him up with a 3. Doesn't quite get there. Will he shoot this 3 ball? 7-3 lead, I don't think you do. Unless he's really confident in leaving right between that 7-5. Doesn't even have the speed to get there. I mean, this has the look-ins of a 7-7 ball game to me. Gotta punch this ball to get over for the 7. Tries to get on the 3 first. Hits it really nice. Yeah, boy, Jean can't be happy with that shot.
Folks, we've got Mr. Johnny Archer is up at Q Lee's booth right now. He's going to do an autograph section. If anybody's got anything they want Johnny to autograph. Johnny Archer, 4-time world champion Hall of Famer, is up at the Q Lee booth right now.
I think I'm probably just going to roll up and leave this bank on the 14, but let's see if he tries to get behind it. It's a great line to do so if you want to. Tries to get all the way behind it, comes up short. Guess that's why I like the leaving the bank. I do that really well also, Tim. 3 railer not there. Z bank on the 14 is there. Probably not worth it. Be interesting to see if he puts this 10 in play. He needs them both, but it also gives 2 balls for Jean to shoot at. I like getting it back to 7-7 before I move that ball. I mean, that is bankable. Yeah, if your line gets all the way around the 14 here to bank this ball, you gotta shoot it. Just knocking it up table. Maybe playing the 2 railer. No. Playing all cue ball. Really free return bank here for Tim. It's going to be close. Oh. Yep, not quite getting the speed down here. A couple speed errors that have been really costly. Is he going to try and get this ball out? But if he's got the room, he's going to be letting the cue ball go. Yeah. Tries to get that ball out. That's going to cost him the game. Gonna spot one up. Gotta like Tim to make this spot shot and get back around the table. Really got to be sure your spot shots in this game. You got to hit that one with some speed. If you don't make it, you sell the game back. Big miss there for Tim. So taking a swing at this 14 instead of the 1 is taking a swing at winning the game in this turn. I mean, it's a very short. It's... yeah, strange round 1 play here from these guys. And like we said earlier, maybe a little bit of frustration there. You do put 2 balls on your side, though. Make Tim do something. I kind of like just knocking the 1 on my side. A pretty center hit. Well, he's looking at trying to move them both. The kiss is really there if you try and do something cute like that. Be an extremely aggressive shot. It does look like banking the 1, you can catch the backside of the 14, but you hit that ball wrong and it can really cost you. Yeah, I like the bank on the 10 here more than that. Catches the kiss. Wow, he got pretty fortunate there. I can't tell how close he is. I think John's probably got the room to cut this 1. Pretty nice 2-railer line to get back on the 14, too. Unless he's just married on that ball. Getting the bridge? So he must have to push through it. He must be really tight on these balls. Yeah, if he's doing that, he's trying to push straight through this ball. And that line looks funky. Derby City, the rule, because of the lack of referees here, they're kind of written around players going through this stuff with themselves. If he is within a very small distance, he can just push straight through that ball. He's looking at playing the 2-railer on the 14, it looks like. He's hit a couple really nasty 2-railers here. Just knocking her out of there. So that's a pretty good line there. Looks like he was trying to use the side pocket there to not sell the 14 bank. Try and clip bank this 10 ball. Boy, that's a tricky one to... You can beat the kiss, but beat the kiss and get the cue ball into a safe spot. I don't know. Yeah, kind of sellout city here. I mean, when you make that bank, it looks great, but that's a hero shot. There it is. Gets over for the 1. Conceding that game. And Jean to hold a serve. All right. Looks like he's going to try that bank one more time. Maybe taking a quick little break. Yeah, I'm not sure how you're not going to sell a shot there. Yep. Looks like a little break here. All right, well, 2-1 lead here for Jean Salim. This is Tim de Ruyter to break. Trying to stay in this thing. This is first round, 1 pocket Derby City Classic action. Catches that wing ball again. Gets away with it. Boy, rough breaks for these players so far. It's like trying to push the 3 through the stack. Get underneath the 2 ball here. Well, gets the 8 out in the open. I'd be surprised to see him try this bank combo, but you never know. It's early. I like thinning off the 2, coming to the backside of the 1-9-13. Does try it, catches the kiss. Really gets away with it. Unfortunately, that 6 landed on the 13 ball. Sorry, the 14 ball. It's like thinning off the 2. Not sure why you'd want to move those balls. Does a great job just feathering them. And again, it doesn't seem like being on that 6 ball does a whole lot, but it really, really limits the amount of the table he can shoot at, to the point that I don't think he can see to bank that 2 ball. Yeah, you want to move these. If you can't hit with enough force, it's really tough to generate enough force there to come to the bottom side rail and back to the back of the stack. He's got the right idea moving those balls, though. If you can play the 2 off the 9 or the 1, it's a good shot. You can carry your cue ball forward there. Just straight banking it. Doesn't quite get there. At this point, even though you don't want to move the 6-14, you might end up doing it just to get underneath the 2. Can he bank the 6 ball? It's like he's kicking at the 2. Sit out of there, opens things up a little bit. And at this point, Tim wants to protect the 6-14, but it's not really a threat either. I would have wanted to jostle those balls. But at some point soon, you're going to want to. Maybe using the... Okay, just getting to the back. Yeah, not quite getting to the back of that stack. At this point, your whole goal is just to get under that 6 ball. Little miss line there. I'm definitely moving these balls. Yeah, thin off the 6, try to get to the back of the 2-15. Nice shot. Now you've got those open up. They are a threat. Unfortunately, didn't quite get to the back, so Sean's just going to be able to kick the 6 ball out. Looking at the straight back on the 8. Really confident in those banks. Yeah, I would be I would definitely be surprised to see him shoot it as well as he hits those balls. Not going to get a rail. That's going to cost him. And sells the bank. Yeah, a little mental slip there. I mean, you either got to hit that ball 2 rails and hit it hard enough for something to get all the way back across table. Did he make it? Oh, not quite getting there. Yeah, or you got to clip that ball coming into the second rail. Can he 2-rail this one and knock him into traffic? 2-rail the 1 and come between the 414. Looking at the 5 ball and just taking him up behind the 3-4. Well, I don't know if you get a line through that 13-14 on the 5 ball. He's hit this 2-railer so proficiently, I would not be surprised to see him shoot the 1. But again, pretty wide angle to be coming from. Likes the straight back. Tight shot there. It is a big pocket from that line. You can hit a lot of that rail. Hits it beautifully. Unfortunately, marries himself on the rail. Looking like firing the 1 ball, trying to get under the 14. Overcuts it, catches it, gets away with it. Pretty fortunate little roll. He's going to owe that one. And at this point, Tim knows nothing goes in John's hole. He can afford to bank this 1 ball and come around 3 rails behind the stack. It's pretty free. Just using the 3-4. That's even better. Good speed. Hangs it in his hole. Yeah, boy, I don't even see anything offensive to try and force here. I kind of like just rolling up on the backside of the 4 here. Playing the Z bank, getting too much draw. That's going to cost him. Well, big opening here for Tim de Ruyter. He needs 8 of them. He's got 5 out in the open. At this point, I want to figure out which ball I'm going to leave for my bailout ball when I go for my breakout. So, I mean, I think the 3 ball is ideally your break ball. And I think I probably would have tried to play the 1 so that I could leave the 6 ball as my bailout ball. Looking at that spot he wants to get to. So just going to slip the 6 past the 1 and then use the 1 to get to that perfect spot on the 3. Yeah, boy, It's tough for that to work out really well. It's really, really easy to get stuck in that. So coming all the way around, long distance to get to a perfect spot. He might be a little straight here. Still got a shot on it, but it looks like he's gonna have to draw more into like the 512. Yeah, missed that line just a bit. Huh, does the 5 cut? If the 5 cuts, I don't think you can do too much to push through this, because if you miss, you're definitely going to sell something. All right, really giving that ball a pop all the way back. Whew. Barely holds up. Well, he's 3 away. Yeah, at this point, you just got to take the 4 ball and call it a day. If you want to get crazy, you can think about something with a 12 too, but I do not think it's worth it. I think I would have wanted to roll that ball. The 13-8 looks like it banks. But plucking 5 out of there, nice shooting for Tim de Ruyter. Salim needs 9 of them. Just banking this 4 ball. Gotta watch the kiss as well. It's it a little wide. Nice shot. Looking at how to get under that ball. I think I like just giving him this ball. Wow. Wow. Hanging up on the edge of the pocket. That's a pretty beautiful removal. Looks like probably not going to try to pocket this 4 ball, but just push it back towards your side. Going right into the 9 ball, that can get expensive. Well, gets away with it. If you hit this 15 with enough force, you can come 3 rails around. I'm saying the bank. He's looking at the back cut, I believe. And it's pretty free here. Not necessarily trying to make it. There we go. Move this 15. I like coming to the back of the pack here. Looks like he's going to try and come down to the bottom rail. You like the pack as well. Didn't quite get there though. Tim's going to shoot this bank. Two ball, very makeable from here. Looks like he's even going to try and come with inside and come behind the pack. Comes up a little short. Want to see Sean try to shoot this one back at his hole. This is one where you can play the kiss off the top side of the 2, off the side rail, and knock the 2 back at your hole. I called that at one point with Scott Frost, and he kind of chuckled at me, even though he's the person I learned that shot from. He's like, yeah, not quite high percentage enough. Wow. Well, making the other purple ball. That's a big one right there. Trying to make this 4 ball. Slipping that 12 in there. And that's how you do it. But great out opportunity here for Ken Salim. He needs 7. They get wide open like this, and it's really easy to take it for granted. But, I mean, at this point, it's only 7 balls on the table. You need 6 of them. Got to be pretty cautious. Yeah, one of them's hanging in front of the other dude's hole. Pretty good line to get on that 4 ball. 4 to the 9-11 is pretty tough. Ooh, does he get there? Wow, coming across the line, gets there, leaves himself a great little angle to get back on the 9. I try to really draw this ball and go into the 15 here. Just nippy little draw stroke here. Oh, does he get there? Wow. Beautiful. I mean, you see him going right at that corner pocket. He's got to know the scratch is there. Great speed control. Interesting, the shooting's gone from erratic and wild to really, really precise at times. Good shot. Again, could try to use the 15 here as a blocker ball and kind of hope you can move it into a better position. But might just leave it there and hope for the bank afterwards. If you don't want to consider the 2 ball hanging in front of his hole. So it does try to move it. Yeah, I think he's just got to come down off this 11 and remove the 2. Again, a ball will spot after this turn as well, so he's got to take that into consideration. Another good position to play that same shot. High side of the 2 ball, side rail. 2 ball back at your hole. He showed some really good kick and stick skills. It's tight. It's close to both those rails. Barely a ball width away from that side rail. Doesn't look like he's a ball width away from the foot rail. Beautiful shot. Unfortunately, it's going to sell a bank. Cheap bank for Tim here. All right, 7-5. Yeah, gotta shoot the bank on this too. I was going to call it out, but I thought it was pretty obvious. Yeah, you really got to be cautious of the corner pocket there. Tim catching a scratch. Conceding that. That will be Jean Salim taking that one down 3-1. Round 1 here at the Derby City Classic. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name's Somerfield Habener. Yeah, stay tuned. We got a ton more Derby City Classic action coming your way. Cheers.